As we approach doing this first somatic exercise for freeing jaws, there are some words that I would like to say to you that I would like you to hear and internalize. So please listen carefully. Because of what people are used to in therapy and also in athletic training, they tend to think in terms of strengthening and stretching, and the somatic exercises are neither. What they are is coordination and control exercises. Now, what I mean by coordination and control is that you have freedom to move in various directions and you can regulate how much effort or strength you apply to those movements. In the case of jaws, we're talking about the difference between nibbling lightly on something and chomping down hard on something. That's what I mean by control or control of effort. The somatic exercises that follow remedy a condition in which you find yourself, in which you have restricted or limited control over how much tension your jaw muscles are maintaining. Those muscles have been taken over by involuntary reflexes that keep your jaws tight all the time. These exercises shift control of those muscles from the habituated reflexes that keep them tight to your free voluntary control. And they do so by means of your ability to sense the movements you're doing as you're doing them. So, in the case of these somatic exercises, I'm going to be guiding you through movements in the basic three directions of jaw movement, which are opening and closing, side to side, and forward and back lower jaw movements. As you do these somatic exercises, always work within your comfort zone, which is to say, the range of sensations that you're willing or able to experience without cringing from pain or from expectation of pain. If you find yourself cramping, you're working too hard, step down your effort level and work a bit more slowly. As you do, you'll find that the tendency to cramp disappears and the range of motion of your jaws increases, meaning you'll be able to open your mouth wider without any sense of stretch or forcing. As you do these somatic exercises, start with enough effort to feel firm control over the movement you're doing, and then with succeeding repetitions, decrease the amount of effort or force you apply to the movement pattern with which you're working. That will teach you regulation or control of the amount of effort or power you're exerting through the muscles of biting and chewing. This is a learn by doing process, so expect a gradual increase of control and smoothness over the movements with which you're working. This first somatic exercise has to do with the basic movements of opening and closing the mouth. Now, there are two interesting things about that movement action. One is that the cheekbones have bumps on either side that limit how far your mouth can open. Those bumps aren't permanent or fixed limits. What they are is the usual or normal limit for opening and closing. When you get freedom in the muscles of biting, and you have freedom to let your jaws move forward and back and to open and close, the ends of the jaws, which are called condyles, ride underneath those bumps, and the mouth then can open to its fullest extent. As you do these movements, never force past that point until you discover how to let go of your jaws enough to permit your mouth to open further by the ends of the jaws riding underneath those bumps, back and forth. It's a comfortable movement when your jaws are free, and it's painful or impossible if your jaws are restricted by tight muscles of biting. The other interesting aspect of the opening and closing movements is that the muscles of the neck are involved. In ordinary biting, say biting an apple, as you open your mouth, you also reach your head forward. And that movement is controlled by the muscles at the back of the neck and base of the head, the muscles of the occiput. The occiput is the fancy name for the back base of the skull. So as you're working with this somatic exercise, you're working both with the muscles of opening and closing the mouth and the muscles of moving the head forward and backward. You'll learn to synchronize those two muscle actions, and as you do that, you'll discover that your ability to open and close increases.